right. We're talking all things and mocktails and cocktails. What's your favourite classic cocktail? Your options are margarita, cosmopolitan, minty mojito, a bit of a jumble here of martini, passion fruit, or espresso. Or a delicious mocktail for obviously all you designated drivers.
Yes.
Much respect. Or, of course, there's plenty of others there. Something else. As we've mentioned before, I have definitely gone with Sex on the Beach. I love that drink. Maybe it be a cocktail or mocktail version. That is my go-to cocktail of choice. And yours is?
I need to say it properly. The British version, we just say pina colada. But the actual Spanish, you have to pronounce it Pina colada.
Because you've got the Enya letter.
Yes.
That's
I only learned that recently.
It's the N with the little S, sideways S above it.
Right.
It's Enya.
Thing is, as someone who doesn't really drink, I have a designated alcohol cupboard in my house. I kind of like to get others to...
I love how you started this show off by going, I don't drink, and then immediately went, but I do love a pina colada. Now you have a designated alcohol cupboard, so you do drink.
I've also got a cocktail subscription, but we'll talk about that another time.
Anyway, if you want to vote on this, guys, go scan the QR code next to Ross up there, Mr. I don't drink but. Or you can go at any point during today's show, go to slido.com. 9389 is your number just beside me here. No sign up, no download, no what, Ross?
No fuss.
There we go, exactly. Do let us know.
Easy.
The tally is hidden at the moment, but will be revealed to you at the end of today. So don't go anywhere.
Yes, and if you would like to contact us there's many ways in
There are.
various forms. You can message us on WhatsApp by using the number 01872 228844. You can ring us on that number as well, as long as you get the bill payer's permission.
Of course, catch us on email as well. hello@thisischaos.co.uk. Fill up Nathan's inbox. Go on, do it.
Yes, or you can message us on the socials at Chaos TV UK with the hashtag
Keep it chaos.
Yeah.
Of course, come along to Mixcloud by going to watchchaos.tv and click the Mixcloud button. And while we're on there, we're going to say hello to Asagoji. Welcome back to the show. Thank you for popping along. Having a little guest there at the Where in the World. See, I was going to say Moscow or something like that. An interesting choice, actually.
guess.
I wasn't quite getting that vibe, actually.
No.
But fair enough. It is sunny there, so it would have to be, Western Moscow at this point? I think so. We've also had Alex saying hello to us, saying the Olympic Stadium in Berlin.
Oh, good guesses. So
I like
yeah,
that.
keep them coming in, guys. Keep them coming in.
Now it's 12 o'clock.
Yes.
And it is time to hand over to Pat and Helen from I Care I Move for another Women's Hour. Hello, Pat and Helen.
Hello, Pat and Helen. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
I thought I just had an echo going
Here
on
we
there.
are at Women's Hour. Why are we saying good morning?
Oh,
Honestly,
afternoon.
this week has been a bit bonkers, as you may have noticed. So forgive the bumbling that comes from me, Helen Tite, and the expert talent of pulling it all together from Pat Taylor. So join us today, join our hot topic, which is what today?
Walking in somebody else's shoes, aka Catgate. And you can join the conversation. So send us emails at hello@thisischaos.co.uk or call in at 01872 228844 and we can answer your questions or just send us some comments.
So coming up in the show today, we've got our guest speakers. They're amazing women, sisters and directors of Sibling, Sylvia Lowe and Celia Anderson. They are fashion copyright, high-end fashion copywriters in Cornwall, in good old Perranporth Beach, and they work with some international clients. But they also see swimmers, mumpreneurs, authors, you name it. These girls have got it. And they're awesome, and I'm really excited to actually catch up with them for the first time in a while. So, but first, let's talk.
Well, we're going to have a discussion about heat and how to keep your cool. Yeah, but first we're going to talk about walking in someone else's shoes, aka Catgate. So do you want to tell us a little bit, well, it'll be a long bit, about what happened to you, how it came about, and your little journey throughout since last Monday?
So last Monday, backstory, I've got two elderly cats, brother and sister, they're 17. And the girl is suddenly got poorly, and I'm pretty much connected to the fact that we've also lost a dog recently, and who was 16, and I think the cat missed the dog. That's my feelings.
Yeah.
Anyway, she had some pain, lots of pain. And I went to give her medicine on Monday morning and she bit me out of character. Even though secretly I think she's just aspired to try and assassinate me for 17 years. She actually got close to it on Monday. So she bit me on my index finger. That was it. I got in the car. I picked up Pat. We came here to film. We taught classes in the morning, fitness classes. And I was like, ooh. And Nurse Pat said, you've got to be careful with that. That's a cat bite. Cat bites can be nasty. And I was like, yeah, okay. So by the second hour, I'd already messaged the GP surgery who phoned me within moments and said, get your ass down to Falmouth Hospital and get that seen to. Anyway, that was 5 hours sat in a car park at Falmouth Hospital. I wasn't allowed to leave the car park in spite of only living 5 minutes from home. But I sat in the car park and the day finished with having my finger washed out and given a big fat dose of antibiotics for 7 days. Sadly, it went a bit wrong.
It did. And it was a bit hot, wasn't it? It was weather like this as well. So you were sitting in a car park in the heat.
Mucho scorcho. That night became very uncomfortable. It didn't feel like the antibiotics were working. So I phoned 111 under Nurse Pat's advice, who then got my doctor's surgery to phone me, and the doctor said, we can't help you, go back to Falmouth Hospital. So then began another 5 hours. So I sat in the hospital for a long time, and when they finally saw me, went, ooh, that's not good. We will get you into Trelisk. Dread. It's the summer, it's warm, a million holidaymakers are down in Cornwall. Our poor Trelisk Hospital is already creaking and groaning at the seams, and now I have to go there. And I know how awful it is for the staff at Trelisk and for patients who are quite poorly. Like, we work in this field, and trauma and orthopaedics was your stomping ground.
That was my work for 30 years, 28 years. So, but actually they sent you to the orthopaedic assessment unit, didn't they?
Yeah.
Which was wonderful to be in a nice, open, airy, clean environment that wasn't busy, was it?
Yeah.
It was, you were waiting to see the right people in the right place.
So they did a nerve thing, blocked off my hand, and basically sent me home. Were you with me?
Yeah.
When they did the nerve block thing?
I left. I dropped you off that day because we didn't think I'd be able to go in. I went home and I came straight back and picked you up.
There you go. See, I can't remember. It's all a blur. Anyway, they cleared out the wound. It was starting to get a bit icky. Cleaned it all out. Said it'll be fine. We'll see you back tomorrow to assess it. And guess what? Didn't get any better. Got worse. And then they go, so you need theatre. Like, what? So very quickly, so within 2 days, I've gone into this sort of rapid descent, and now they're telling me that I need hand rehab, you name it. So we had a bit of a strange day. It was like the hokey pokey, theatre or local anaesthetic, general anaesthetic. It just went on. So eventually, after much to-ing and fro-in, lack of communication, Nurse Pat, who was just stomping everywhere and trying to get as much information as possible, eventually I had a general anaesthetic and they've washed out. So I've got new wounds on top of my old wounds where they've had to clean out my hand. I don't know how it goes from this point onwards. I've got a review tomorrow. All I know is when we come back to the point of the story, which is walking in somebody else's shoes, I've had to, for the last week, work with one hand only. And it has been a real eye-opener. Now, bearing in mind, we are experts in health and well-being, it has been a real challenge, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Just like coming back to, you know, my dad having a stroke when I was 19, and my dad, all his life, had one hand. But learning how to do everything, I think the thing that has let me down, it's like I miss doing my hair. I miss that bit. But you know, I've had to rely on somebody to, you know, do my bra up. I've had to rethink what I'm wearing because I need to take my go for a wee, all of that stuff, and it just got me thinking, because in spite of the fact that I think we've got incredible emotional intelligence and can read a room and understand our clients truly, until actually I've stopped using my hand, have I really appreciated like how big a challenge it can be for some of our people who don't have the luxury of being fixed with antibiotics and a bit of surgery.
And you've wanted to use it, and I've had to say to you, do not use it. So it's been quite frustrating for you, hasn't it? That you can't use it, and you shouldn't be using it because you'll damage it even more. You risk damaging it even more.
It's little things like Tony saying, "Oh, we'll have steak for tea," and I think, "Oh, that involves cutting up the meat." So we've had to change what we're eating because I have to think about not using a knife and fork. Having said that, today I got myself dressed, got ridiculous sandals on, so managed to sort myself out today and very quickly have adapted.
Yeah.
And that's the wonderful thing about the human body, it's that we are so resilient and we can bounce back and we can do a lot of things. But again, I've given myself time. I'm surrounded by experts that will remind me, because when you're the patient, you stop being the expert, right?
You do. And also sometimes we want you to be using your arm. So if you've had a stroke or if you've got a weakness, you might be encouraged to use that arm or that leg. In your case, we don't want you to use it. So it's picking up those little things, those thoughts that, like, go and fold the loo paper because you can't pull it off one-handed. Cut your meals up, cut your toast up, or butter your toast for you. Get you a drink because it is that two-handed. Taking in the top off your drinks flask. You couldn't do that.
No.
And as a friend or a family member or colleague, just thinking about those little things that will make a big difference to you and not make you feel frustrated or useless.
Or a burden. I think that's the thing. I've just felt that I've been a burden. And I know my family are good as gold, but you do worry that you're just taking advantage. And I feel that, oh God, it's quicker if I do it myself. So I'm feeling that from, like, and my mum used to do that. She used to be, oh, I'll put your socks on. And my dad would be slowly, diligently trying to figure it all out and make a mess of it. And then mum would just take over. And actually, sometimes there is that balance, is it? You know,
it's the best thing.
Anyway, we could talk about that. Yeah, go on.
But also, what is really important is communication, is saying to somebody, oh, this is driving me mad. It would really help if you just bring me a cup of tea at night or bring me a coffee in the morning. That would just start my day off. Or put the shower on for me so I can jump in the shower. Maybe leave my socks there. And if I can't manage, then I'll ask you. And actually saying it really upsets me or it's frustrating me that I can't do it. Otherwise you internalise it and you get cross and frustrated. And they don't know that that's how you're feeling. And you need to adapt to your new way of life, temporary or permanent. And it's giving people that awareness around you that that's what you're going through, because they can't read your mind.
No. And I think, oh no, it's gone. There you go. I have literally forgotten what I was going to say. But here's the thing. This soon will pass. And hopefully I'll be better and I've got therapy and I'll be okay. But it is looking out for other people, and let's just forget about the medical side of it. It is so important just to recognise that sometimes people just need a bit of help and it doesn't hurt to be kind.
Can I mention about, so we want to mention just about choosing the right health options. So for Helen, so you didn't realise, and a lot of people since have said, I didn't know how bad it could be. A cat bite is really serious, as is a human bite and a dog bite. Cat bites, human bites are really nasty, and I've seen really awful infections, and it's really important that you get it seen to straight away if you feel that it's not right. So in the first instance would be a call to your GP. If it's out of hours, like your second day was out of hours, you ring 111. Don't just turn up somewhere because you might be waiting hours. They can then direct you. 111 can advise you. They can direct you to the right services. It might be minor injuries, your GP or A&E. You might need to get some help straight away. And in some cases, for different things, you might need. They'll call an ambulance for you. So thinking about services at the moment, they're so overwhelmed. Make that call first, and then they'll give you the right advice for the right treatment.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. So we got some people that have commented, I can see have come in. Nikki from Bude says she's had a frozen shoulder since December, has had to adapt, and adaptation is a big part. About how she gets dressed, what to wear, how to close doors. Didn't even realise how debilitating it was not having a full range of movement. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. It's you've got to give yourself time to work through things and heal to feel better.
And also your clothes, your change of clothes. Because you just said to me on the way in, you've got zippy trousers that zip up the side, and they're really awful anyway. How on earth do you get them fastened?
When you've got a pair of boobs, and you're trying to do up things up the side, you've got to see past your boobs. Yeah. It's just a nightmare.
So your floaty dresses, and you're going away. So your floaty dresses, aren't you? And pull on everything.
Yeah, rethink my wardrobe to factor in my hand. Anyway, still to come.
Still to come is our lovely sibling, Sylvia and Celia. And later on, we're going to talk about heat again and top tips. So,
can we bring them on now?
Yeah, let's bring them on now. We can't wait to see them. We haven't seen them for a little while.
So these girls are rock stars, and I haven't seen their faces for a little while. So I'm really excited to see Sylvia and Celia. Look at them!
How are you doing? Well, not great.
Hang on, right, 2 secs. We have a technical problem.
Oh, shall I move up next to you?
Oh, yes, you can
we
have
can
my
share an
ear.
ear. Right, listen.
Oh, this one here.
This is all part of the journey today. So I'm going to start. Oh, that's no good.
Right. Bear with us.
So these are these little things that have brought to challenge me, because I was like, yeah, we're all organised and sorted, and then realised that we can't do this chat.
Which ear?
Right, that one will do. Pull. That one will do. Right, I'm in. There they are. Ta-da! Hello, girls.
Can you hear?
Hi.
Hello, beautiful ladies.
Can you hear? No?
So, I'm going to ask you questions. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Where did we meet?
The Venus Awards, about 4 years ago, I think. 5 years ago, something like that.
And tell us, what happened?
We can't really remember. We were there because we were just there as guests, and you had been nominated for Influential Women of the Year, I think, and won it. And we were watching from our table, and we saw you go up and get your awards, and
we saw you dance up and get your award.
And I'll say what the dance moves actually called on live telly.
Yeah, we can. It's Chaos TV, and it was a slut drop.
Yeah, you took us over with your slut drop, and then we just decided that we needed you in our lives, and so we asked you to mentor us for it was quite some time actually, wasn't it? And yeah, we never looked back.
So I like to. It was a wonderful evening, and I just remember how amazed I was, inspired by you guys. So the great thing about mentoring is that sometimes as a mentor, you see people and you just think they're just gonna fly. And you girls were already doing amazing things. You just lost your confidence a little bit. That's how I saw you, and fell in love with you and your lifestyle completely. So tell me, you've got Sibling, so we'll start there, because you are entrepreneurs and you are doing amazing things in so many different aspects. Tell us about Sibling.
Well, we started Sibling because we've both been freelance copywriters. Been on the other side of things, getting paid not so well, being not always treated so well, kind of being the end, like the silent end user, as it were, and then the work would go through the agency and then onto the client, and the agency would get all the money and all the credit, and they could put that logo on their website and all those kinds of things. And we just got a bit sick of that after a while, and we worked a lot in fashion. So we decided to specialise in fashion product descriptions, because the great thing about that is that there's always a new drop, always a new season. So it was repeat work. The people in fashion are fabulous. They're so much fun. They're so dynamic. They're so engaging. Because there was a short while that we were writing about sheds. So
and concrete
and Velux windows. So to go from Velux windows to high fashion, quite refreshing. So yeah, we decided to specialise. So we write the description. So when they put a new item of clothing on the website, it needs to have a description. Tell customer what it's made of, how it fits, whether they should size up or down, those kinds of things. And it needs to be written well, because spelling mistakes can put people off and it can harm your search engine optimization. So our clients come to us with stacks and stacks and stacks of products and need a fresh description for each one.
Fantastic. So how do you differentiate between work and sisterhood and home life?
Well, I mean, we only work between 9 and 3 anyway, because we have small children, so we be there for the school run in the morning and then in the afternoon. And so our working hours are much shorter anyway than your typical 9 to 5. And then within those hours, like, we're pretty good at prioritising what needs to be done. So we'll always try and squeeze in a dip in the sea if we can in the morning, and then get to work, do sort of core hours throughout the day, maybe sort of 2 to 3 hours during the day. And then there's a bit of time for kind of houseworking type things. And then it's school run time, and then we're mummy. So it's sort of, I think because of the nature of being mums who run a business, you can't be all things to all people all the time. And so at 3 o'clock, we just have to turn off our emails, and then we're just in mum mode.
So what advice would you give to other entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs, that are starting a journey similar to yours?
Well, have confidence, ask for help, see if they can find someone like you, Helen, to talk them through when they're having syndrome. I think all female entrepreneurs do at one point. We're really lucky that we have each other, and we did have an office for a long time as well, but then of course COVID hit and we had to give that up, so we reverted to working from home, which we're kind of still doing most of the time now. So we are effectively on our own, but we also chat, we communicate all day. So I think to be able to have some communication with other people is key, and you can do that through online networking, face-to-face networking if there's such a thing available near to you. Just going to your local coffee shop and getting your laptop out, because you just never know who else in there is, and you might, in worst case scenario, you can chat up the barista.
And I think, there's always a place to have a little flirt with somebody, isn't there? Always. We got eyes, girls, right?
Absolutely. The other thing that I'd say as well is that I don't know if it's just for women, but I think pricing is really difficult, and you tend to underprice yourself, because especially when you're starting out and you're not quite sure if what you've got to offer is going to sell. And so it's really easy to undervalue yourself and sort of do something cheap so that someone will say yes, and then you then build up a relationship with them. And we've learnt that the hard way, really, that with some of our clients, we were not charging anywhere close to what we should have been charging back in the day. And this is going back kind of 10 years ago, and we've learnt a lot in that time. And we're lucky that actually our clients saw the value in what we do. So when we came to actually address the pricing and say, look, we did drastically underprice ourselves back in the day, and we need to, really crank that up a bit so that we can be rewarded for what we do. They were really quite receptive to that, I think, because we've proven ourselves and we've proven our worth. And we've worked with the same clients now for 10 years. So how it all started was Kurt Geiger got in contact with us and asked if we would write their product copy. And so we did that, and in doing so meant that we were writing for Kurt Geiger's internal brands, but also all the external brands that they stock, so kind of Prada, Gucci, Ralph Lauren, really high-end brands. And I think because we had those logos on our carousel, that then attracted Hugo Boss to contact us and ask us to pitch for their contract, which we did. We went to Germany and we pitched for the contract, which was really
terrifying,
really scary. And we won the contract, and we've worked with them for about 6 years. And then since then, we've started working with Moss Bros as well. So we're really focused on high-end men's tailoring and footwear. And there's a lot of money in that. And so, when you're coming to pricing, you've just got to be really assertive about it and not apologise for yourself the whole time.
You are a rare breed. So I'm going to just put out a couple of phrases. Firstly, women in business. Inch wide, mile deep, and women in a man's world. So pick one and tell me about how you have managed to really make a difference without losing your integrity or your vibrancy.
Oh,
Well, the inch wide, mile deep thing is something that we talk about quite a lot because when we first started out, we were a traditional copywriting agency. So we would do kind of brochure rewrites, website rewrites, product copy, press releases, that sort of thing. And then we decided that we were going to specialise in product copy. And because we made that decision, it was quite scary, really, because on one hand, we were thinking, well, if we limit ourselves to just this one thing, then that then means that we can't do all these other things that we know how to do and people are willing to pay for it. So it was quite scary, really. But because at the time e-commerce was massively on the rise, we just saw an opportunity that actually it's better to pick one thing and do it really, really well and be the specialist, because I don't even think to this day there is another agency that like ours that exists. And so when you come to compete and pitch for contracts, you're not really up against that much competition. That it's apples and oranges. You know, you're going to be pricing yourselves and competing against a freelance copywriter, not an agency who does what we do. And so although we are exceptionally niche in what we do, it has meant that we, I think, bring more to the table in a kind of pitching environment because we're so specific and we're so specialist to what the client is looking for. And I think if you are the specialist, then there's this sort of feeling that you are the expert as well on that particular topic. So inch wide, mile deep is something that we've talked about a lot over the years and we've written about a lot as well. So, yeah.
And it's got us a really good relationship with our clients as well, male and female, because like Sylvia was saying, they respect us. They don't look at us as some lowly person, like a subcontractor, a freelance copywriter. Not that they're lowly in the slightest, but sometimes it can feel like that. But we feel like we're more on a level with our clients because they're coming to us and saying, well, how should we do this? What is the best way to approach this? And that's a really nice feeling.
It feels like more of a partnership than it does a typical kind of client-supplier relationship, just because of the way that we are, really, I think.
I've just had a memory. I'm sat in the cafe that had just opened in Perranporth, and I'm sat between you two, and it's like tennis, watching you two just talk and fire off each other. You haven't lost that. There must have been a time when you girls have fallen out, surely.
People ask us this all the time. We have two other sisters as well. There are four of us. And I mean, you know, save for the time we used to try to drag each other around our bedrooms by our hair. That was a long time ago.
Horse on a shovel moment. We won't go there.
Literally throwing shit at each. Can I say shit? Sorry.
You just did, so.
Well, we've said slut drop, so I think we're okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've come a long way from there. But we don't fall out. We tend to read each other's minds. So if something is going to happen that's going to upset Sylvia or vice versa, we kind of preempt it and see it coming because we know each other so well because we are so similar. So I think that similarity can be a bad thing in some environments, but it seems to work for us so far.
And there I love that side eye. But there's so much more to you, right?
Well, yeah, and it depends which avenue you want to go down there.
Right, so revamping caravans, musicians, book writers, go on, pick one.
Yeah, Sylvia's in the process of fitting out a transit van called Trini.
Trini the Tranny. Am I allowed to say that?
Trini the Tranny, nice. We appreciate that here.
I bought my van about 2 or 3 months ago and just really wanted to do it up and have something that I could sleep in where no one knew I was sleeping in it. So it's a panel van, so it just looks like a trade van. But when you go inside, it's like walking into the range. It's very lovely.
And music?
Yeah, we do a lot of, Sylvia does a lot more than I do. She's in an acoustic duo called June, and they play a lot around Perranporth, and they run a folk night every month that's off for the summer now, but it returns in September. And I play the ukulele pretty badly.
No, you don't. She's much better.
But I'm not a performer, so it takes probably 2 bottles of wine and a lot of encouragement, and then I might do something very, very badly.
Absolutely. The other thing that I do as well is I have recorded sleep music for children. So if you have a small child, having done this ourselves, we sort of know all about children not sleeping and the impact that that can have on your day. And so I wrote a series of albums maybe about a year ago now that are on all streaming platforms. So if you go on Spotify or Apple Music or any of those, it's under the name Mellow Mouse, and it's broad music with sound effects like forest noises, crashing waves, that sort of thing.
Sends me off every time.
Yeah, it does with me as well. So it's all available on streaming platforms as well.
Well, you say it's for sleeping children, but we still use your music in our Pilates classes that we send out every Monday. So every Monday live here at the Chaos Studios, your music will be playing
in the background.
So I know we don't see you enough, but you're on our minds. We think about you frequently because you've made such a success of having it all and doing it all, and it's not an overnight success. It is a 10-year slog where you women have had highs and lows and then highs again, but you've never ever faltered in terms of your vision, and that's to really make a difference. Would you agree with that?
To make a difference in our own lives, really selfishly, predominantly because we wanted to be there for children and we wanted not to have to do that race. And I was just talking to a friend yesterday who's thinking about starting her own business, that there will be that early graft that you have to put in the first few years will feel a bit like high risk reward, but it pays off so much if you can just keep plugging away at it and have faith in yourself and have faith in, I mean, that's where being a partnership really helped, because when I faltered, Sylvia was strong, and then vice versa. So if you can find a mentor or anyone to help you if you're feeling a bit wobbly, just to sort of reinstate that passion and just keep on following that dream, because it's so worth chasing. Like, our lives now are designed by us. It took a while to get here, but it feels really good.
And more and more women
just being
go speak.
Sorry, go on.
No, you speak.
Okay, I was just going to say that just to be able to design your week every week how you want it is really nice. And when we were sort of with much smaller children, I think we were both, well, I was still in full-time or part-time employment, and the idea that you would then go and work in an office all day for someone else's gain, and be away from your child, to me, I couldn't really kind of make that work in my head. And so I just wanted to be at home. And that was really the key driver, is just I wanted to work from home, and I wanted to be able to design my work day around my child. And actually, when the pandemic hit, that's what everyone was doing. You know, everyone was working from home, and I think a lot of people still are. And so I think that working from home is really important for family life generally, even if you are employed by someone else, because when you're at home, you can do other things as well while you're there. Just, you know, putting a load of laundry on, or, you know, just hoovering the house, just to kind of keep on top of things. Yeah. When, you know, you end up doing that in your weekend, and I refuse to hoover on my weekend. It's just not going to happen.
I just hoover all the time.
Well, yeah, I don't really hoover.
So the pandemic, as crap as it has been for so many people around the world, it's also created this new style of hybrid working, and you guys were leading that way pre-pandemic.
Yeah, we did it before it was cool.
We've been working in our pyjamas since 2013.
So your hard rules. Tell me, what are your big hard rules that you'll never give up and you'll never change? They're there for your future.
Oh, God. Big question.
Don't work Fridays.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, we like that one.
We don't work Fridays, and when we can get away with it, Thursdays as well. We don't.
Mondays and Tuesdays.
But every other day. Yeah, we're actually not taking on any more client work at the moment, because we feel like we've got the balance just right, where we've got enough client work coming in. It's steady, it's daily, it's weekly, it's monthly, which is gold dust to a freelancer. So we've got enough work coming in, but we've also got enough time to spend with our families, and also time just for ourselves, you know, just to go and have a dip, go to the spa, that sort of thing. Just to have some time out is really important as well. And so yeah, that's a non-negotiable really for us. We don't want to be working 5 days a week, 9 to 5. That's just not why we're doing this really. It's always been about flexibility and being able to have that work-life balance.
Yeah.
So what's next? So you've talked about your work-life balance. You talked about you don't want any more customers as such. So what happens next for you girls? What's the future of Sibling and your working practice?
I think if Chanel knocking, or Louis Vuitton, we might consider it.
Only
Yeah, absolutely.
we don't get many freebies.
Yeah.
You'd think that we would, but we don't.
I got one pair of socks from their boss once. Yeah,
Yeah.
But yeah, next, I think we're both very much in the same mindset where, like Sylvia says, things are so sweet now, and it's taken us such a long time to get here, that we kind of want to enjoy it while it lasts, because we realise what a privilege it is to be able to structure our workload and to be able to kind of heavy stack the first part of the week and then take it easy in the latter part of the week. So we're just sort of enjoying that for now, but we're also conscious that nothing lasts forever and that things could change, and having so few clients is a risky business strategy. It works for us, but it could mean that in the future things could change quite quickly, and we have contracts in place with all of our clients to ensure that we have a bit of time to kind of prepare. But I mean, so far they've been very vocal about the fact that they can't do without us, which is fantastic. So for now we're just going to enjoy it really and keep on stacking the bank account, and then if things do change in the future, I don't know, I mean, we live in Cornwall, so the idea of investing in property is really tempting with some of the profits from the business. So that's a possibility that we're considering, but not for a while yet.
I think also we're both sort of fly by the seat of your pants kind of girls, where we'll just figure it out. There's a lot to be said for having a plan and, having ambitions and goals for the future. But actually, for now, things are great the way that they are. And when they're not, then we'll figure it out and we'll do something else. And I don't know what that is yet, but that's also quite exciting.
So you are paving the way for future generations of how women can have families, develop careers, own businesses, because you're still in the minority. So what would be as we come to close this interview, what would be your guidelines or advice for those startups now?
Well, like I was saying to my friend yesterday, to sort of have that resilience and that belief in yourself, and ask for help and take out business loans if you need to get to where you need to be. Have that courage of your own convictions and keep plugging away, because it won't be an instant. It might be an instant success, but our experience is that it isn't, and you might need to do some side hustles and keep the cash coming in other ways. There were times where we didn't have any money at all, but we just kept at it, and it's easier said than done. But it's just having that faith in yourself, and you won't always have it in spades, so you might have to go to other people who love you and know you and believe in you to encourage you. But just don't keep. I say to I have two daughters and a stepdaughter, and I say to them all the time that if you can build your own business, then you're golden, really, because you're naturally going to learn so many little side tricks, like how to do social media, how to build a website, how to deal with clients, how to do your accounts, and you're just going to become such a well-rounded individual who can do anything, even if that particular venture isn't the one for you. In the end, you will find out. As a business.
And yet you're absolutely right. It's good to fail too, because you learn from it. It's not a bad thing. It is just the experience that you won't do it that way again. So, girls, it's been a true and utter pleasure. I could talk to you for hours. You know that. We've got to get over there. We've got to drink a sundowner with those girls. It's just wrong that we're not with you. So we will find a way of getting over to you within the month. 100%.
Paris on that cafe we went to, so that needs.
Absolutely. We love you very much. You look after yourselves. And how can, if somebody's watching and they feel inspired by the girls, what's the best way they can get hold of you?
If you go on our website, which is just siblink.com, all of our contact details are on there. So
siblink.com. Well, thank you very much. It's been a real joy to have you on today.
It's better soon.
Great to see you two guys. You look after yourselves.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So nearly it. We've just got to cover some top tips for keeping cool.
I know, because it is hot in the studio, isn't it, babe?
It is, and this weather is stunning, isn't it? We love the hot weather, we love the sun, but we've got to keep safe. We've got to keep you safe and your pets safe. How do we do that? Thinking about shade. So top tip is, in the morning before it gets really hot, close your curtains, open your windows if there's a breeze, Let that air in and then keep your curtains closed for the day if you can, and keep that cool air in.
Daisy, my eldest, was telling me she was changing her bed sheets last night. So she took her new fresh bed linen, stuck it in a bin bag, popped it in the freezer, and then she took it out of the freezer and made her bed. And she said that was dead cool.
Lovely. And you can get cool mats, can't you, for pets? I'm not sure whether my little Dana would like that, but cool mats that you put in the fridge and they're nice and cool for them to lie on.
Yeah.
So that's
towels behind your neck.
Yeah, lovely.
Hair up. It's like you got all the obvious, haven't you, about keeping cool? But cotton knickers.
Yeah. Hydration. So instead of, you can glug a pint down and it's good for you, but actually sipping throughout the day is really good. Cold, cool water, and just sip it throughout the day. Water, you can't get any better than water. Cover your skin up. I know we want to get a tan, don't we? But
I know, but we know, it's counterintuitive tanning these days, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
My tan this year has spent more time in the shade than it's been in the sun. There was a time when I would just sit out. Now I'm like, oh, it's too much. I much prefer the shade now.
And you're always tempted to go and have a glass of wine. We were talking about this yesterday, or a glass of Pimm's. But alcohol can dehydrate you.
Yeah.
So have a glass, but have a glass of water as well. So good. Be kind of good as well.
I know. The point is, and another one was a fan. So again, a duvet cover is quite good. But if you just have the duvet cover open and put the fan inside the duvet cover, so it makes like a tent shape.
Well, I do that in the winter.
And then you sit inside it.
I do that in the winter with my hairdryer to keep it warm. But you can also check the colour of your wee. If it's dark,
or smell
yellow,
it.
orange,
You've got stinky wee too.
Yeah, then you're
strong,
dehydrated, so you need to drink more. And just keep going, and just keep an eye on those people that you care about, those people that might be vulnerable and that don't know these little tips.
Yeah, and I think that the thing is, we as a nation moan about it because we don't have air conditioning, unlike the rest of the first world. Yeah. We don't. So it is a challenge in hot offices, and it has been okay trying to do what you can. Be comfortable, feel well. No, that's it. So just look after yourselves and just look after each other. So thank you for joining us at Women's Hour today here at Chaos TV. Both myself, Helen Ty, and the beautiful Nurse Taylor. And join us again.
We're back in September the 6th. Contact us. Follow us at www.icareimove.com. or email us at info@icareimove.com.
We're off to enjoy, have a well-deserved break, time down during August where we can relax, sit back and get ready for the chaos of September. Look after yourselves. We are iCareIMove.
Fantastic stuff. Thank you very much to the ladies there, Pat and Helen. Get well soon, Helen, as well. Blimey.
Yeah,
never heard of a cat bite going quite so serious, but flipping heck. Wow. All the best. Lovely to see both Pat and Helen, as always. Wait until September, though, till the next episode.
I know, we're going to miss them.
We are. Flipping heck. It's right, we'll still see them in and out and doing other bits and bobs, aren't we? Now, coming up in the next hour.
Yes, in the next hour, we are going to be heading to the hen house where Henry has been having a little throwback when Henry had a little catch up with Babs, MBE, talking about all the good stuff that goes on at Chaos.
Triple B MBE. Big Boss Babs MBE.
BMBM.
No. Let's not do it. Anyway, Podge and Ross here. Chaos TV, 7 minutes to 1. Shall we have some music?
I think it's time for some music. Let's have baby cakes.
Don't go anywhere.